Ark is full of sweats. So in this video, I will be showing you 5 hidden base spots on each map in Ark Survival Ascended. So let's get started with the island. First up, this location is closer to Greenhob and can be found at 44.3 latitude and 77.4 longitude. This place is like a super dope cliff water area, and it's a little unnoticeable at first, but if you come right over here, this is where you're going to want to build. It's on this little edge area, and it's definitely small, so you probably couldn't fit more than a duo, but chances are no one will ever find you down here. Next up, this spot can be found at 50.0 latitude and 83.4 longitude. It can be found on the side of this cliff, but fair warning, it is a little small, but it makes a solid spot for a solo, duo, and possibly a trio. It is a little bit more noticeable than the first one, and it might be tricky to defend because there's not really like an entranceway to set up like defenses or anything, but it is a great spot, so let me know if you use it down in the comments. To switch things up for you snow biome lovers, this can be found at 17.6 latitude and 51.9 longitude. It is a great spot on the side of this mountain, and it's nice and hidden. It is tight, but it's another great spot for a solo duo tribe. Also, it has an added perk. There's like this little spot down in here, which can be hard to do stuff with, but it could be a great spot for something like storage or something. For the next location, this can be found at 56 latitude and 94.6 longitude. Now this location is a little different because it is underwater. This spot is decently sized, and as you can see, it has this like triangle entrance, but it is a little small, so you will have trouble trying to fit like tames in here. Now there are a ton of these little like underwater crack spots, but this is one of my favorites. It's a great spot, and definitely try to check it out. To finish off the island, this spot can be found at 51.3 latitude and 83.4 longitude. Now this one is more of a cave, but there's no artifacts, so I'm not going to be calling it that, and there's no like added cave damage. This one is definitely one of the most sizable on this list, but it does have 2 entrances, so you will have to set up defenses for both ways. There is some trouble building just because there are like random rocks that you can't get rid of, but with the size, you can easily play as small tribes or official wipe. Now, on to the center. The first spot for the center can be found at 12.1 latitude and 20.2 longitude. This is behind this big waterfall, and there's a bunch of different spots you could do, but this is great if it's what you're looking for. It's a big open flat area, so there's a ton of potential to work with, but it can be more dangerous when playing PvP. If you look up, there isn't really any coverage, and you could probably be easily stego dropped, so you definitely don't want to make enemies here. So this next place can be found at 16.4 latitude and 16.8 longitude. This can be found on the side of this cliff. It's kind of awkward, but it's actually very quote-unquote big, but it's a crawl space, so it's very compact, and there's kind of an issue defending it. There's like the 3 large open entrances, so I don't exactly know how you build, but it's a super cool spot. So this next spot is in the Redwoods area, and it is at 83.0 latitude and 65.8 longitude. This spot is more of a rat hole, and I do not recommend it if you have a tribe with more than 2 people. It is very compact, but it should be good if you just lower your foundations all the way. Now, you used to actually be able to get back here as like a connecting spot, but I couldn't pass through it in this clip, so I don't know if you still can or not. It probably got patched. The next place can be found at 92.4 latitude and 71.7 longitude. This place is also located in the Redwoods, and it is really cool. As you can see, it is on the side of the cliff, and there's plenty of room in this huge cave-like area. Also, there's a platform next to you that you can expand onto for holding tames and possibly indie forges. This is definitely one of the better spots. And the last location for the center can be found at 4.5 latitude and 22.3 longitude. It is tricky to get to, so just follow me, but this spot is insane. Once you pass through here, you're going to want to go up and build on this edge or like cliff area, and this is because no one can get to you from any other direction. As I show in the video, the barrier protects you from all sides except for the way we came in. So as long as you figure out how to properly build in the entrance below, this spot is almost unraidable. Next, Aberration. First up for Aberration is at 30.8 latitude and 38.6 longitude. It can be found at these crystals, and the spot is accessible if you just use climbing picks. It has plenty of room for a duo and possibly a trio. It is a little awkward of a slope, but you can use pillars to your advantage to help you build whatever type of base you're going for. This spot is so hidden because there's almost like a false wall from this like vine or tree, but it makes it so no one will ever find you here. Up next, this place is at 50.3 latitude and 52.1 longitude. This spot is at the edge of the blue zone, and it is up in this metal structure, and it is quite hidden. This spot is quite large with plenty of room to build, so you can easily get away with a decent sized tribe. Now, it isn't going to be the easiest to defend because there's numerous holes and spots people could come in from, but it's so high up, who knows if anyone will actually see you. This location is at 50.3 latitude and 53.5 longitude, and it is right next door to the last one. The only issue is this spot is way smaller. It is really meant for only a solo. You could try to fit a duo, but you probably won't be able to. But as you can see, it is very hidden. You could probably stay here all wipe long without a single problem from an enemy player. Up next, we have a spot at 52.7 latitude and 50.6 longitude. I'm pretty sure the spot is in the red zone, so it is definitely not beginner friendly. This spot is super vertical and has tons of room, and pairing this spot with cliff platforms can be crazy good. Realistically, in all of these metal structures, there are tons of possibilities, and I'm just showing you guys some of the better ones for a wipe. To round it up for Aberration, this place is at 70.1 latitude and 31.7 longitude. Again, this is in the rad zone, so it is not a good spot for early game players. This place is huge though, with tons of possibilities to build whatever you want. And it is very high up, so odds are no one is going to notice you. Again, if you build it right, it should be relatively unraidable. The only cons are getting up to it is going to be tricky because you're going to need an airship or rock drake, and you have to live in the rad zone. And finally, Extinction. First up for Extinction, this place is at 11.1 latitude and 3.8 longitude. It is located in the sunken forest, and if you come up to this tree, there's a nice platform, but it's kind of out in the open. If you notice though, there's an opening that goes way back, and you can have a nice hidden spot. So you can easily have the main portion of your base back here, and have the rest out on the big platform, and you could set up tons of defenses on this platform, and you'll be set for the wipe. Next up, we have the spot in the city, and it's located at 46.4 latitude and 60.5 longitude. It's in one of these buildings, so it looks extremely cool. This spot has a solid amount of room, great for a solo, duo, or trio, but it has a huge flaw. It has two entrances, so it can be kind of hard trying to defend it, but honestly, if you're lucky enough, you might never get noticed up here, so it makes it a pretty solid spot. Next, this location is at 57.1 latitude and 27.4 longitude. It's also located in the city, and it's up in this little overhang, and it's quite compact. It honestly has plenty of room though if you're a solo, maybe even a duo, and if you just lower your foundations all the way down, you'll be good. You may have noticed already, it's going to be a little hard to defend since the entrance is kind of just like two big openings. This next base spot is at 67.6 and 64.1. It's located in the wasteland, and it's behind this like wall, and it's somewhat of a wide spot compared to what I'll show you in a second. But the issue is it has this little like hole that you can see through, but you may be able to put some like metal walls in front of it to blend it. And then over here you can also go behind the wall, but it's like one foundation wide, but it's super hidden, and it could be good if you're a solo looking for somewhere. Last but definitely not least, at 43.1 latitude and 30.7 longitude in the city, we have a crazy rat hole. As you can see, there's a great amount of room that you can do tons with, but wait, there's more. If you come around back, there's a whole other area making this spot insanely good. You could just load up the front area with crazy defenses and be almost unraidable. Make sure to leave your favorite spot down in the comments, and make sure you like and subscribe. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Deuces.